Don't tell me that. That means my anxiety is
working. Like if I look straight into the camera and I said, you don't really have to wash your legs.
Oh, there it is. He finally said it. I did this for you, Twitter.
I'm Hank Green.
And I'm Jarvis Johnson.
And this is Ask Hank Anything. I think interview shows got it backwards. I think you can learn more about a person from the questions they choose to ask than the answers they choose to give, which is why I'm doing a show. It's called Ask Hank Anything. And today I'm joined by Jarvis Johnson.
Hello.
He makes all kinds of content all over the place. He's a sad boy from the Sad Boys podcast.
True.
Which is a good old time. And I would like you to ask me some questions.
I've prepared a few questions.
I have put them inside of this Pelican's pouch.
I've been playing a lot of card games. I want to shuffle these up. That way.
Yeah, I'm never gonna know what's gonna come first.
Ooh, this one's good. Have streaming services reverse engineered old school cable packages? When is enough enough?
This sounds like a problem that you personally have.
I'm so frustrated.
How many subscriptions do you have?
All of them.
How do you manage your subscriptions?
I don't. I'm being robbed of my resources. I'm being drained of life. I am aware of the streaming services I have, but every time I sign up for a new one, I go, they got me again.
They did get you again.
And I want to cheat. I want to pirate so bad. And I used to when I was young and I didn't have any disposable income.
Yeah.
And I try to be a rule-following citizen now, but they don't want me to be.
They have made it awfully hard. And I think we have reached enough is enough. Mm-hmm. I think that when you look at what's going on in the world of the online streaming media, Netflix is doing great. Amazon's doing great. Disney's like on the edge.
Yeah.
Everything else is losing money.
Yeah.
So we've already gotten to the point where people will not tolerate it. It's so easy to cancel, I have to say.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be like, I'm gonna watch Shogun, which I did. It was great.
Yeah.
And then I canceled. And I waited for it all to be out. I binged it in a month. It was $7, you know?
And if most people
That's
do
actually
that,
a cheap way to get shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if most people do that, it's bad for them.
Terrible.
They want people like
They
me.
need you to accidentally stay subscribed for 6 months.
Right.
And then there's sports, which we don't even want to get into.
I was just watching a video essay this morning about the sports situation.
If you'd like to get all of the football games, you have to subscribe to like 4 or 5 different services. Ultimately, what this was is like a new thing's going to happen. We have to get people to abandon the old thing, abandon cable, and then as they come in, we can slowly increase the price in various ways, both by having a bunch of different streaming services and by the price of Netflix going up to where it's, $20 a month for the top tier. And nobody thinks that's going to stop happening.
Right.
Like the price of Netflix is going to keep going up until people won't tolerate it anymore, which is exactly what they did with cable. Cable used to be a lot cheaper. And then by the time people started abandoning cable, it was like $150 a month. And they also make it super hard to cancel, but that's actually being regulated out of existence.
Well, yeah, which is cool.
And I don't know what the future is, but I do know that YouTube is free and it's got a ton of great stuff on it.
True.
And also like you can watch John Oliver on YouTube if you wait 4 days. Like there's a lot of stuff that ends up in both places. Are you aware of how much money you're spending on your subscriptions a month?
Yes.
Okay. Do you subscribe to other things that aren't media? Like do you have news subscribs or?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, everything that kind of nickel and dimes you.
Yeah.
And it stinks. I even, I'm so torn ethically because there'll be many an article that I want to read or source.
For sure.
And I'll hit the paywall, and I know that there's like archive sites that I can go look at things for free. Yeah. But I'm like, but I don't. I want to support like independent journalism.
They're not doing it for free. Yeah. The people have to get paid to do the work. But I'm in the same bucket.
Like,
sure. If they're like Business Insider, I'm not paying for that.
Right, but if it's like 404 Media is one that I pay for because I think they do really interesting like reporting and stuff. And they're like independent and small.
And then there's Substacks and Patreons.
Right.
That you have to, my Patreon, we gotta have like a new acronym for all the media subscriptions we have, like news, Patreon, Substack, entertainment, and sports.
My Substacks don't match my, like sometimes I will subscribe to a Substack because I'm really interested in the Pokemon TCG. And then I subscribe to like some pro players after watching like a regional tournament. I'm like, oh, these people are so smart. I want to hear their insights. I'm reading them for a bit. Then I get focused on Magic the Gathering, still paying for the Substack. But then I'm like, these people aren't competing for that much prize money. I just want to keep supporting.
Right.
I keep wanting to support this. I'd rather support them than like the New York Times for my like subscription income. So it's tough.
It's a new battle that we all have to wage, both as consumers and as media executives who I'm sure are very sweaty right now.
Yeah. That's just them normally, though.
They're sweaty guys.
They're just a sweaty bunch. Okie doke.
Yeah. What do we got?
All right,
let's do that one?
I would love to.
Okay.
Here we go. Bam. I feel so passionately about this. It's another media one.
Okay.
But they're not all media.
They're not all media.
What happened to DVD commentaries? I love them. Why can't Netflix just put the audio track on their player like a different language? Am I the only person who enjoyed DVD commentaries? Is this just lost media?
It is. So, in order.
Yes.
Why don't they do it anymore? Are you the only one who likes them? That does influence the first one. And so. Is it lost media?
Yeah.
Okay. You might be the only one who really likes them. Yeah.
I think I'm the guy.
Why do you think they made them in the first place?
That is a great question. I have no idea. So
you can figure it out.
Okay, extra content because you're selling a physical thing and you want to get something new because you already saw the show that you're buying.
And before you might have a DVD, you might also have another copy of that movie because this is back when DVDs are first happening.
Right, because now you've got the VHS.
You've got the VHS.
And you've got to convince.
And you're like, I could get a DVD, maybe it'll last longer, it'll be higher quality, but I have the VHS.
Right.
Give me one more reason to do it.
Can I tell you what DVD commentaries I listen to so much?
Sure.
Family Guy.
Oh.
It would be Seth MacFarlane and like
sure.
And maybe Alex Bornstein or
yeah, and the other thing is like those guys are getting a cut of that DVD sale.
It was so fast. Like I was just learning so it was so fascinating. School of Rock.
And also they're kind of into themselves. Seth MacFarlane loves a Seth MacFarlane joke, you know?
Yeah. I think it was stuff where I was so into the media.
Yeah.
Because like I would like get very into the world and I would love to learn more.
Netflix did do this. For House of Cards season 1, they had a commentary track that you could play and listen to. And I guess not enough people did it for them to feel like it was worthwhile because not only did they never do it again, that product is gone.
Okay,
like
but
you can't even do it with the stuff they did it with.
Also Community, Dan Harmon, very similar to Seth MacFarlane, I feel like in the self-indulgence. But but from a technical standpoint, when you're licensing these, I'm sure I wonder if there's like some legal thing because technically speaking, these are synced tracks and it is as simple as...
It's as simple as
uploading the audio thing that is already...
A dub.
It's a dub, so it's kind of like you're already in there. It's like, hey, can you grab
so easy to do.
You know, So that's one of those things.
There must be a price thing. There is a streaming service that has these, which is the Criterion subscription.
Oh, for the enthusiasts.
Yeah, for the enthusiasts.
Okay.
So that, and if you have some...
Do you think they'll add Family Guy to the Criterion collection?
You could subscribe to yet another thing.
Okay.
And get some of them, but I don't think they have Family Guy on the Criterion collection.
For now.
It could be.
Give it time.
It's going to be a classic.
It's very funny because I was also 12 watching these DVD commentaries.
Wow, yeah.
So it's very just like indicative of my personality.
I honestly think you're right that there's space for it, but there might be a weird sort of set of economic incentives where like Netflix owns so much of what they do that they'd have to pay the day rates of everybody to come in. Whereas maybe Seth MacFarlane was doing it just sort of out of the love of it and knowing he's had a back end of the DVDs.
And the new... I guess the spirit of this was more about it becomes difficult to get the commentary.
Right.
Like I need a physical release.
Yeah, now you are
even
losing
the new production makes sense.
Yeah. But to get, it's not technically lost media yet.
Yeah.
Because you could go get those Family Guy
DVDs. You can still get the DVDs. And I do have some of them.
I think it was just you.
I think
there's just not that many people who like this product. It was such a sweetener. It was a little sweetener, and most people saw it on the back and they said, oh, maybe I'll watch that someday.
Right.
And then they never did. Or they did and they were like, that actually, I don't care that much.
There is a form of let's just say enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Some of us are mentally ill, myself, who really obsess over some of these formative media and like repeatedly watch things. I don't do this so much anymore, but I remember just like over and over watching commentaries and learning. That's how I learned a lot about Los Angeles. I used to listen to podcasts from comedians, and I would like listen to people talk about it. The community commentaries I watched like all through college. Like I would.
Did you want to be a LA boy? Did you?
No, it kind of just happened. It happened, but then I was like, I've been preparing my whole life for this. What are the odds?
Did you think you were going to be in media ever?
So when I went to go work at Patreon, I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the combination of my like technical training.
The Bay Area then?
Yeah, I was in San Francisco. And that was the thing. I moved from Atlanta after school to San Francisco, was going to do the Silicon Valley thing. And that was like going to be the end of it. I was doing like professional workshops and like trying to kind of climb the ladder and figure out like how I was going to navigate that world.
Yeah.
And then
terrible world.
Yeah. And then YouTube happened, and I was like,
well, then YouTube
it was always
happened.
in the back.
Like as an institution, or you started making YouTube?
I always like loved YouTube from a consumer, but I thought the way I would be involved was working at Patreon and sort of working on tools for creators. And then on a lark, when I started like making videos, I was like, well, this was like a latent dream of mine. And I never thought it could be like a reality.
Wow.
So, don't let your dreams be dreams.
I also feel like watching a Family Guy commentary is so much more rewarding than watching like The Lord of the Rings, where it's like 22 minutes instead of being like, I'm going to watch this for 4 hours.
I do think, literally, it's just like, oh, here's how we had the idea for this cutaway joke.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this celebrity was actually really fun to work with.
There's like stuff constantly happening.
Yeah, it's just like fun facts, which if I could, you ever see those videos where it's like 24 minutes of useless facts?
Yeah.
Or maybe they're about a specific thing, like The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time or something.
Yeah.
Something random. And I am the audience for that. I'm like, fill my brain with just accoutrement.
It's great.
Potpourri.
Like, you're not the only one. Like, those things do extremely well, especially when they're centered on popular media.
Yeah.
That's what we have instead now. We have video essays, which is better.
Which I would accept that trade offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's just me.
Yeah. You didn't just ask me about media.
What do you back? Did we? What was the name?
Puzzle. This is Puzzle the Pelican.
Puzzle the Pelican? What a great name. Ooh.
What do we got?
Okay, this one's not media.
Okay.
This one has the potential to upset some people, so be careful with your words here.
Okay.
Are baths inherently dirty? I've always thought that a bath is a bad way to get clean because you're just soaking in your own dirt and oils. Is that true? Showers make sense because scrubbing and gravity and also the drain. That is
how you sent it.
Right, yeah, that's how I wrote it. How I drafted it up.
So I think I'd actually looked into this a little bit.
Oh.
And the sort of case being made, which I like, is that the concentration of filth on your skin before you get into the bath is gonna be very high.
Right.
Because it's just on you.
Yes.
Like whatever amount. It's gonna be, and then once it gets in the water, it's gonna be significantly lower.
Right, by volume, I guess, because the water's now diluting it.
One thing that I think might bother someone is that filth from one area of the body is now sort of diffusely spread all over the rest of the areas of the body.
Created a whole new fear, I think. Oh no.
But the idea, I think that it seems that people do get clean in baths, and that after the bath, they are cleaner than they were before the bath.
Studies have shown that baths
they in fact do
over
clean.
time have done clean.
And that it's pretty much fine.
Okay.
And that's not going to be a problem, and that you and also that you get the cleanliness that you were after. And then you can do a little rinse after.
So that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's just that I feel like I'm wasting so much water.
You are wasting.
And I don't take a lot of baths. And I try to take short showers because I've heard that
you are using way more water.
Yeah. This is a special treat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I did a big workout. I put like some Epsom salt in the bath, heal my aches and wounds, and then rinse.
That probably does nothing, but
probably.
But like it feels like it does.
I want it to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
I
want to do something for me.
I want to do something.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna. Yeah, I never once thought it did anything.
Yeah.
But so many people have sworn by it that I'm like, okay.
Yeah, during chemo, people were always like, you got to do Epsom salt baths the day after chemo. And I'm like, okay. And I did it. And I was like, I feel awful. I feel like so, like I can't imagine.
I just poured sand on my body.
I can't imagine I could feel worse than I do right now. But
so
maybe it does. It feels like a ritual.
Future Hank is here to help with this. Epsom salt
is a salt. Not salt, which is sodium chloride, but another ionic compound, magnesium sulfate. And when you dump that into your bath, it's gonna make the water feel different. Like there is a difference here. It's gonna feel a little silkier, maybe a little softer, and that on its own can be quite pleasant, and pleasant is a valid outcome. But the main claim here is that your body is going to absorb some of that magnesium through your skin, and that's gonna make life better for you in some way, and that's where things get a lot squishier. So can magnesium absorb through your skin? Maybe a little. There are some small studies, often cited beyond what they prove, but it indicates that you can absorb some magnesium through your skin. But there's not good evidence that a soak in Epsom salt will meaningfully raise your magnesium levels, and also importantly, it's not like it's gonna soak straight into your muscles, which seems to be what people are saying will happen. It will get into your bloodstream, and then from there it will get to your muscles. But the thing is, that a much faster way to do that would just be to take a magnesium supplement or eat magnesium-rich foods. That's gonna be a much more reliable way for magnesium to get into your blood and then to your muscles. As for sore muscles and stress relief, the bath is doing the heavy lifting here. Warm water is gonna increase blood flow, it's gonna relax muscles, it's gonna calm your nervous system. We know all this, we experience this. Epsom salt will not hurt any of that, but probably it's not helping either. So if you like how Epsom salt feels, awesome. If you want the placebo effect and you want to ignore everything I've just told you, do that. If the ritual of it helps your brain switch off and your muscles unclench, double awesome. But if you are expecting it to like detox you or fix a magnesium deficiency, you're soaking more in marketing than medicine. And I'm glad I did the research on this, even though I kind of wish I could believe that it did something. And probably I can still pretend like it does something, and that will also be fine. So now we know. This Future Hank segment is brought to you by Maeve. The Ask Hank Anything team includes quite a few dog parents, and if there's one thing that we are all collectively passionate about, besides, science, it's making sure that our dogs are happy and that they are healthy, and a big part of that is gonna be what you feed them. Maeve is a raw food for dogs company made with human-grade, protein-rich ingredients like lean meat, organ meat, fresh produce, and even personalized supplements. It's designed to be simple, transparent, and tailored to dogs' nutritional needs. Maeve says that many of their customers have reported improvements in things like mobility, breath freshness, and coat quality. Of course, all dogs are going to be different, but we do know that a lot of dogs really love the taste. So if you want to see how your dog feels about it, click the link in the description and let us know in the comments how it goes if you give raw food a try.
This is a side question.
Okay.
I sometimes feel more relaxed and ready for bed after like a bath or a shower or something.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Oh, I don't know. Like, I think that there are, in a bath, your body temperature might go up, which is gonna be actually like require metabolic expenditure for your body to try and cool itself down. That's gonna be less the case probably in a shower. So that might be just be a psychological thing. But like getting hot actually does wear you out a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
like a day at the beach, you're always like, all right, I just laid around all day, but I'm freaking tired.
I always wish that like, feels like it should burn more calories than it does. I'm like, well, I was so hot.
Yeah.
So to regulate my temperature, didn't my body have to do a lot of extra work?
It also has to go in kind of a maintenance mode because it's repairing a bunch of DNA from getting the sun on your skin.
Wow, we're really asking a lot of our bodies all the time.
We are.
That's crazy.
They're amazing. That's one of the things that I hate and love most about being a human is this stupid sack that I exist inside of.
It's pretty neat.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And if it would work all the time, that would be choice.
Well, you probably have a lot of experience with this as of, recent, but there's so many things where just like, you talk to a doctor and they're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're probably fine.
Damn.
It's like my tummy hurts. And they're like, yeah, tummy's hurt.
Yeah. Oh, well, this was not helpful, I think. Maybe you should work on your bedside manner.
They're like, we did the main tests. My tummy hurt recently.
Yeah.
And they checked to make sure I didn't have Giardia, and I didn't. And they were like, well,
that's all we got. I did the same thing, and we don't have to get into tummy stuff, but I feel like you specifically would know my struggle.
Yeah.
As a colitis haver, I don't. That's not me.
Yeah.
But I have been having some tummy troubles, trouble in the tum zone. yeah. We were both going towards the same direction there. And I had a colonoscopy.
Okay.
And then I had some stuff after the colonoscopy that I won't get into.
Okay.
Anyway, showers are cool.
Showers is the thing to do.
Yeah. Showers are nice. Baths, maybe once in a while.
Yeah. I think it's good to get yourself a little cleaned up.
I think that people will agree with that. I think that generally getting yourself, I do not want to open Pandora's box and talk about how often to do that, because I feel like that is the thing that always gets cut.
Personal.
It's personal, and it's one of those things that I've seen get clipped out of context on social media and then creates a whole firestorm.
Yeah, if I looked straight into the camera and I said, "You don't really have to wash your legs,"
right?
That would be the kind of thing.
That was a whole moment
where we could I mean, look, maybe we could get a little bit of energy around the project. It's new.
Actually,
I got to say some controversial stuff. You should be washing the inside of your nose. Does everybody know that? You got to get up there. Do you do that in the shower? Just upside down?
I have.
Don't do that. It's bad for you.
Oh, because also the parasites.
What? Which ones?
Brain-eating
amoebas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna get a brain-eating amoeba from the shower.
Well, no, but if you turn your head upside down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because the people who do the neti pot stuff, why do they, with unfiltered water, when they don't use the proper water, why do they get the brain eating?
You know, you're right. That does happen. It shouldn't be in drinking water.
Oh, okay.
It would be amoebas are big boys,
right?
But they might be in your pipes if you have but it shouldn't be. It should be very clean.
Well, I'm not a neti pot person. It's just one of those times you read an article and you're like, this will stick with me forever.
Yeah, my brother knew a guy who fell off his bike into a canal and died of brain-eating amoeba. Yeah.
That is,
and now we're both terrified of it.
That is such a Rube Goldberg machine of death.
Yeah,
though.
right. It was just you have a little bike accident and you're like, oh, that was bad, and then you die.
Sometimes people do bike accident and they get scrape.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do bike accident and they don't get injury.
Yeah,
this
but
person
did you get wet?
A critical hit.
Yeah.
Brain-eating amoeba.
Yeah. Really bad roll.
Wow. Horrible roll. Critical failure.
But I'm glad you're alive. What are you working on these days?
Well, one thing I am working on, and I'm very passionate about, is the Sad Boys podcast that you've been a guest on.
I almost wore my Sad Boys hoodie, but it is hot in here.
It is. I don't know if you can see my sweat, but I am sweating, as is my normal
You're kind of a wet boy.
Anyway, check out Hank's episode of Sad Boys.
It's really good. We had a great time.
We talked about weird
Flying a Boss
conspiracy TikToks, and then Flying a Boss out of nowhere from the top rope appears in the podcast. That was
It was very weird.
That was a very fun.
I was like, what if there was a hip hop duo on the podcast?
That was the bike accident into brain-eating amoeba combo of podcasting, where no one died,
but
everyone
of
had
goodness.
A good time. Yeah, it's the opposite. I think. That's check
it's a great podcast. It's so much fun. You guys have a great time. Lots of great guests. Always smart ideas. You're always putting together a weird thing to do.
And now we have a little team, and that's helping.
Yeah,
because guess who doesn't have a lot of ideas all the time? This guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There might be some amoebas in there.
Yeah, the amoebas are stealing my ideas. They're recording DVD commentaries on my thoughts.
Yeah. Don't put water up your nose. I feel like I should say it again.
Oh, yeah, you should probably say that again. Oh, and I was just going to say that I got a deviated septum surgery recently after a lifelong not being able to breathe through my nose.
Oh.
So I'm experiencing, for the first time, really ever, being able to close my mouth and breathe.
How's that?
It's still weird every time.
That's for a long time I couldn't fart without pooping.
Oh, yeah.
And that's...
A lot of people struggle with that and they don't have an issue. That's kind of how they are.
When that finally fixed, I was like, man, farts are so cool.
I think that...
They're so much fun.
Being alone, I think that every fart is a risk. And
not anymore. Comparatively...
Yeah, I was just saying,
it used to be like a 50-50.
But being alone and feeling a big fart coming on is one of life's greatest reliefs to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to worry about the social implications of this.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about people thinking less of me as a person.
Oh, I would never.
But, no pun intended, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
I have a psychological thing where I won't fart at parties, even though I don't know I'm doing it. And then I get in the car after a party to go home and I'm like...
That's a good onomatopoeia. The caption writer is going to have a field day with that one.
No?
That one?
What is it?
What's the best way to take a shower? How do we know if soap
Why are you
is
so
working?
worried about getting clean, Jarvis?
I was doing free association.
Okay.
You know?
You got it. Are you Here's what I'll say to this question. People want to know the best way to get a shower. I just say, what problem are you trying to solve? Is that problem getting solved?
Right. I think people don't know. Okay, here's a related question.
Yeah.
I oftentimes will go, I think I stink.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, huh? No,
well, you're closer to all your things than they are.
But is it like your voice where you think you sound differently than you do?
No.
And then you hear it?
I think if they were as close to you all the time, they would smell it.
Right, because I'm so familiar with my default smell that when anything is amiss.
Maybe that, and also I feel like there's like a path from the armpit up the collar to the nose.
Oh, yeah.
I think that you catch your own whiff pretty quick.
That is validating to me because I have like emergency deodorant everywhere and cologne just in case. You never know when you're gonna stink. It's scary. It feels like you're like caught with your pants down if you're like accidentally stinking.
That's funny because I live in Missoula where it's kind of normal.
Oh.
If you're a little stinky every once in a while, anybody date people in Missoula? How are they? we got a So I'm not surprised.
That was a pretty big call out. I was just asking questions about showers, and you were like, "Everyone in Missoula stinks." I was like, "Wow, didn't you just talk to the mayor?" Like, are you allowed to say that?
Yeah. No, I mean, I also am that way. Where if I catch myself out without deodorant on, and I'm like going to Pilates, I just go. I'm like, no big deal.
If you're about to exert yourself, I feel like it's a little bit more.
I think it's worse because you get stinkier if you sweat. It magnifies it. And then you're like there with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Pilates students of the Pilates.
It's another P word.
Students.
Pelican.
Yeah, this is Joseph Pilates, the Pelican.
Joseph Pilates. Oh, right, because it was created by a guy named Joseph Pilates, which is a fun fact.
Yeah.
That I went to Wikipedia and I was like, this seems fake.
Yeah, Pilates is his last name. He once was in a burning building and he had to hold on to the beam of the roof.
Religious.
He had to hold on to the beam of the roof as to not fall down. It does sound, this is what my Pilates instructor told me.
Okay.
Could be totally made up.
Okay. Because normally
his core strength was so strong that he was able to just hang there for hours.
And he was like, why is my core strength so strong? I will teach you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I must be good at Pilates. It's my name. Anyway.
It's the only way I know.
Get clean.
Get clean, everybody.
What we're learning about Jarvis is worried about being stinky.
Isn't that normal? Don't we all worry about how we're perceived?
We got a lot of nods in the room.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's like, I can smell.
I'm no Joseph Pilates. I might be in a burning building, and what if I die stinky?
He does.
They'll be like, well, if he died the way he lived, smelling nice.
Yeah, smoked
and delicious. It does sound good now that I've mentioned it, but
no.
Okay.
We should not.
Anyway, I'm going to talk to the Pelican.
Steer away from cannibalism.
Okay,
for this show, you can do another question.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Is this another one?
The end of this question was, is it good enough to see dirt go away, or is it just vibes?
Again, what problem are you trying to solve?
I don't know.
I think there's not like a morality of
I need to talk to a
showers.
therapist, it sounds like, because the problem I'm solving is more about my worries, my anxieties.
Yeah, sort of like the morality of cleanliness. And I think there is a real thing around that.
Am I upholding my social contract as a member of society?
I don't think you need to worry if there's bacteria on your knee, that's not going anywhere important.
What if that's...
I know what I'm saying is you don't have to wash your legs.
Right. Oh, there it is. He finally said it. I did this for you, Twitter.
What you want is to look clean and smell clean and also be healthy. Right. You can bathe beyond the point at which is healthy. Like you can get too far. And so there, you just have to do the things. If you look and smell clean, you've done it. Good job.
Good job, everybody.
I give you permission to stop showering after that happened.
We're actually running out of questions. Oh, this one's fun and different.
Okay.
What power and influence do the royals still actually have?
Specifically, are these the British royals we're talking about? That's the spirit.
That's
of
what
the
you were thinking of.
Because I think I don't want to take it more distant than that because there's a lot of royals and they all have very different situations.
Right, like the Kansas City, the ones in Kansas City.
They also have some power and influence.
Yeah. They have that song written about them.
I didn't know.
Finding out that the Lord song was about the Kansas City Royals was
the Lord song.
The song, "There will never be royals."
Is that about the
It's about
Kansas City
baseball team.
Are you serious?
Google it.
It's not.
Google it.
I will Google it off screen later when we're doing the addendum to this episode. And I'll find out that's definitely not true.
So
I thought you meant like the Lord's Prayer. was about the Kansas City Royals.
That is, for some people, maybe. But yeah, let's focus on the British ones. I think when I wrote this, there was a lot going on.
Oh, there's
a new king in town.
Yeah.
There's some trouble.
There's always difficulties.
The Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
That's the place.
That is one of the places for sure. I look into this and I find that it's like none, but like still plenty.
Right.
It's like, no, we have no power, but we still have plenty of power. We have no power. It seems like, and historians forgive me, what happened was they were like, okay, the British people were like, we don't want monarchy anymore. And the monarchy was like, but we're in charge. And they were like, okay, well, we'll send our armies at each other and a lot of people will die. Or we'll come up with a different solution. And that is, you get to still be alive and you get like some of the fun parts.
Right.
You get to be on the money. Mm-hmm. You get to sign the treaties. You don't get to decide what treaty you're signing. You get to appoint the prime minister. You don't get to decide which prime minister you're appointing, but you do it ceremonially.
Right.
So you get to sort of like embody the spirit of being in charge.
It's like a cosplay. It's like it's a LARP. It sounds like.
They are LARPing royalty in a very...
But they do get real money.
In a very real way. They're totally rich.
Yeah.
They're more powerful than the average billionaires.
But
they are also billionaires. And that comes with plenty of power.
Right, because I was going to say, because with that power and influence, you're in a lot of rooms.
You're in a lot of rooms.
That gives you a lot
this is the weirdest part, is the room that you are in once a week with the prime minister to have a confidential, off-the-record conversation every week. Ooh. The king has a chat and gets to say how he's feeling about how the prime minister is doing.
Wow.
Every week. And it's private. No one knows what happens in that room. The king is never allowed to have a public opinion about who anybody should vote for.
We should make that happen more, I think. Or fewer people should have public opinions.
Exactly. I'm like, you can be a powerful person and not just like be whining about what you think should happen.
Right.
And so you never see the royals engaging in politics in that way. And I knew that, but like they're not allowed to. It's illegal for them to have public political opinions.
Wow.
Which is wild. But they get to have a private political opinion directly to the prime minister's face every week. 52 times a year.
Mr. Minister, do you think I should wash my knees?
Yeah.
That would be the question. I feel like if we could leak transcripts
really
between
podcast.
King Charles and
whoever it is,
because it's changed.
Who is it?
So many.
It
was Rishi Sunak.
It's not Rishi Sunak anymore?
And then it's not Rishi Sunak.
Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer,
yeah. I wouldn't have come up with that.
He just came into power very recently.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know more than the average person about British politics.
Because you're hanging out with a British guy all the time.
Yeah, he won't shut up about it. Still mourning the Queen.
Is he?
No.
It doesn't seem like that would be the kind of British guy he is.
He did tell me something recently, which is that like the money, and this, I don't know if he was lying to me, but I believe him. All the money that has a queen on it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to exchange that for like money that has a king on it.
You got to go in and be like,
That's ridiculous. That is absurd. Imagine if we had to exchange our George Washingtons for Bidens.
I read that any Canadian citizen has the right to ask for a picture of King Charles. And they have to send it to them. So if you're a Canadian, you could just be like, send me a picture of King Charles. And they're like, yes,
that sounds like a way to clog up
you can really break some things.
Yeah.
Just waste a lot of the crown's money that way. And then on top of that, you've just got the ability to get into a lot of rooms. So like you're a king, you're rich, you're influential, and all these people can like show up at the UN.
If you want to talk to somebody, someone can go, the King of England wants to speak.
I don't know, what would you do?
Ooh, I'd probably be scared. I'd probably say no.
What did I do wrong?
I don't know.
Did I say something on the podcast that he didn't like?
When you described the off-the-record conversation, I imagined like a scene from Game of Thrones.
I'm sure that it's not like that. It's probably like King Charles being like...
Yeah, it's always more boring when you see it, you know?
But I don't know. I bet Queen Elizabeth early on probably had some choice words. So you wouldn't... If the King of England was like, I need to have a chat. Can you call me?
Yeah, he'd probably be like,
no, just a...
And I'd be like, sorry, what was that? He was like, I'm 85. And I'd be like, okay,
can I give you to Jordan? I can't understand
Yeah,
British.
I truly can. I need someone who speaks your language.
So, I don't know. I feel like I would be annoyed.
Oh, I thought you were going to be annoyed if King Charles was reaching out to you.
No, yeah.
Oh, you'd be like, I'm so busy.
No, because I feel like I'd have to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, God, another thing I have to do.
Yeah. I get that. That's like how I feel normally. It's like, another thing. It'll be like,
When I reached out to you to be on this podcast, we were like, God damn it.
No, it was so far in the future that it was free.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, that
this morning,
count.
though, were you like, oh, God.
Last night I looked at my calendar and I go, oh no! Even though we were all prepared, I feel like I live outside of space and time until I look at my calendar and then I am like, oh, things happen.
Yeah.
And I can't just like twiddle my thumbs.
It will have to
and
continue
fart
to
in peace.
Well, I'm glad you showed up. For me, even when you wouldn't for the King of England.
That is actually true, I think. I do think that's true.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so congrats on that.
So in that one way, I am more powerful than the British royals.
Wow, you brought it back.
Yeah.
Okay, Hank.
All right.
We may not be royals, but we will be wrapping up here soon. I've got 2 last questions for you.
Okay.
A twofer. We're going to do it at the same time. They are not at all related.
Okay.
But they share a common theme. You'll soon see.
Tell me.
Why do media companies keep making movies and shelving them for tax benefits? And are sponges really disgusting? I use washcloths because I have all my life, but sponges seem like they never get dry and collect a bunch of bacteria. So the collective theme here is apparently what we've been talking about today.
You're into media and cleanliness.
Apparently. These are the questions that I brought you.
I feel like I have to tell you that like I've known you for a while and I always feel like you're very well put together and clean man.
Don't tell me that. That means my anxiety is working. Yeah. But I think if you told me the opposite, it would have been worse.
I think that would have been worse.
So thank you.
Yeah. I think you need to worry a little less. I'll tell you about sponges first because that's easier. Because I did so much research on taxes for the other question.
Oh, I see. I was like, now I'm hooked.
No,
how the simple sponge has impacted tax code.
You are actually just exactly right.
Okay.
That sponges stay wet for longer. They have more surface area. Dead skin cells and oils get stuck in there.
Yum.
And so sponges and they're also harder to clean.
Yeah.
So they are much more disposable. Some sponges you can actually throw in the washing machine and then in the dryer and you can reuse a sponge.
Oh, okay.
But that's not the case for all sponges.
Okay, so
which makes it very confusing.
Sponge.
It is the case for all washcloths, which makes it not confusing.
Right.
Washcloths dry off much faster. They have less surface area. They're much easier to clean. They're just part of your normal cleaning process.
So is a loofah? I think a loofah is like a sponge and like wrapped in a mesh.
Well, I think I'm imagining there's like a loofah sponge, which is a kind of sponge.
Yeah,
but then there's a loofah, which is just a bunch of plastic that's been woven together into an object.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That was mostly, it feels like it's from like the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a lot of loofahs around.
I had one that was Axe body spray themed.
Oh,
it might have come
themed.
Branded. I think it might have come in at some sort of what I can only assume was a man pack.
Sure.
Of like how to get man clean.
It's a man loofah. It's gray.
Yeah. It's gray, which is the color of men.
Yeah. You could think of it like a car, but a sponge.
You're like using an axe to chop the dirt off of your body.
Yeah.
This was in a time when Dr. Pepper released Dr. Pepper 10.
Yeah.
And the ads for Dr. Pepper 10 would be a dude doing some sort of action stunt and then looking in the camera and going, Dr. Pepper 10, it's not for women. And you were like, it's 2006. How are we still here? Like, what is happening right now?
But what would happen if a woman had one?
Yeah, you would explode.
Would it be okay?
Actually. Yeah, it would not be okay.
Women are allergic to it.
Yeah, we tried giving it to a lady and, whoa, no.
That was a mistake,
Something bad happened.
We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, keep it away. It's not sexism. It's actually for women's safety.
It's a safety thing.
Yeah, it's a safety thing.
Yeah, it's legal. So from what I can tell, sponges kind of suck. But they are very good.
Yeah, if you squeeze them, then they kind of suck a little bit.
They do. Yeah. There's lots of little like life hacks for how to keep your sponges going for longer.
Right.
But washcloths are going to be more reusable for longer. They need less time between washes. They can go for more time between washes. I think your instinct is correct here.
Cool. So about taxes.
And then taxes.
Yeah. These are the 2 realities in life that you can't avoid: sponges and taxes.
And media executives being horrible.
Right.
Also, you will not be able to avoid. This made me both. Like, I'm about to make you more angry.
Oh, I can't wait.
And less angry.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah. So it doesn't save them any money.
What?
This made me so mad. So you got Coyote versus Acme. Say it made say it cost $100 million to make that movie. And if they don't release it, they can say, well, that's a loss. We lost that $100 million.
And so my understanding of reporting a loss as like an individual is that you can continually report that loss as like a deduction on your taxes over the
So if they made $1 billion in profit this year, they made $900 million. That's the taxable income.
That taxable income
now
is
lower.
lessened, yeah.
Yeah. Long term, if they lose money whether or not they release the movie or not, right? Okay. So if they released Coyote versus Acme and then it made, say, $30 million.
Right.
So it underperforms. They still have to get taxed on that $30 million, but they still have the $70 million as the write-off. And because you never get taxed 100%, it's actually financially advantageous to you to release the movie.
Okay, so now the question that everyone's asking. I believe you.
Okay. I think we should do the math real quick.
Okay, yeah.
So we've got $100 million. If you make...
Stop recording. We have $100 million.
We have $100 million.
Let's get out of here.
So let's just say 100. Yeah. And then if you have to pay taxes on that, then you're say it's a 30% tax rate.
Sure.
Then you're having to pay... You're getting $30 million in tax benefit.
Right.
But if you release the movie and you make $30 million, let's just say you make $10 million. So you're basically making nothing.
So it'd be a
but you're gonna
crazy
make
flop,
something.
like a
crazy flop, $10 million.
Flop,
Then instead you're getting that tax benefit on $90 million. So that's times 0.3. And so now you've got $27 million. That's your tax benefit. But then you made $10 million.
And you put out...
So you made $37 million.
You may have enriched...
Also all of the people who work for you know that when they make a movie and they put their life into it, it's going to become a movie that people will get to see instead of a waste of their life for years.
And some kid might buy it on Blu-ray and listen to the DVD commentary and then go and make the next big $1 billion hit.
So do you want to know why this is actually a tax advantage?
Okay, my guess is unfortunately because there's some sort of short-term...
Yes.
Fuck. I hate that. Well, so it's like someone wants to look good in the short term by being responsible for taking something off the books.
Because if they shelve the movie, they can take all of the tax advantage this year. Whereas if the movie comes out, the tax advantage gets spread out over the lifetime of the income of the movie, which can be quite a long time. It could be 10, 15, 20 years.
Okay.
And this way, there's a couple of reasons why you would do this that are not about tax advantage. So if you think the movie is going to be so bad that it's going to be a bad look for you as an executive and for your company in total, you might not want to release the movie.
Right.
If the marketing expenses of the movie are going to exceed the cost of the revenue of the movie, so you do have to do this marketing stuff and pay for various things when you release a movie. So not all the money has been spent yet.
Right.
Even if the movie is in the can.
Yeah. Because marketing is a very it's a very expensive portion of the budget.
And you kind of can't not do it.
And that's why when you look at the budget of a movie, sometimes that doesn't include marketing. And so it's why do they have to make way more money to break even? Oh, because the marketing spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might end up that it is in that situation where the marketing itself would be more than the profit of the movie or more than the revenue of the movie. And then there is a bit of when is it most advantageous to take the tax benefit? So if you're selling a company soon, or if you want to have your numbers look really good this year because maybe you just became the CEO this year and somebody else was the CEO last year, you want your numbers to look as good. Maybe as a CEO, you're trying to hit certain targets.
Yeah.
To get to your bonus.
Always trying to hit targets to get to the bonus.
So there's lots of different things that can mix into this, but I was infuriated when I actually looked into it. I was like, what is this? Is there a real reason? It's for the long term of the company, they're not making any more money by shelving it than releasing it.
There is this mythical person who works and really cares about the company that they've helped build, and they're thinking about the betterment of the company or whatever. That person is going to make a decision that's beneficial for the company in the long term.
Yeah.
But if you have people who are jumping around executive positions that want to just increase their payday and they have a window of time where they want to kind of maximize and then get out, it's just those people are kind of they're just squeezing like a sponge. they're sort of
there's only some amount of water in that sponge.
Right, and they're just trying to they're trying to get as much out
instead
as
of putting more
possible.
water into the sponge.
Right.
By making Good. But anyway.
They're the bacteria that sits on the sponge, actually.
It was not a pleasant thing to read. Especially as somebody who was like, that would have been a kind of a cool movie to have exist.
And because everyone who saw it said it was awesome.
That's the other thing.
And that's bumming me out.
Whereas sometimes you hear about this and it's like, oh, it's for tax purposes, but it's also because like you might be embarrassed to release that movie.
Is why the type of media crime that I want to get into is stealing the movies. Like a vigilante.
I kind of can't believe that at some point no one's going to steal Coyote versus Acme and get it out.
Yeah, well, because there's this thing where it's like, has it already been destroyed? Because don't they have to destroy it in some way?
That's
like the shelving.
They do, but like, what is it? What counts?
I know.
What count? Like, remember there? Like, one time North Korea hacked one of the movie studios and like released a movie somehow.
Yeah,
and they figured that out.
There was those episodes of Doctor Who that were thought lost for years, and then they found them in a film canister in like Africa or something.
Exactly.
So who knows? These movies could be anywhere.
Could be. We gotta tear this town apart.
This is a National Treasure reboot. You and I
we have to steal Coyote versus Acme.
We have to steal the lost movies and the Batgirl movie
and the Batgirl movie. I find it infuriating. I don't like that the people's work.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and then how do you ever feel good about working for that company again?
And it's like, do you have a choice? Because don't all these companies engage in this behavior at this point?
Right. But you could just be a YouTuber. True. That's what I say to everybody in media. I'm like,
and then they're like, oh, but the prestige of what I do.
Oh, yeah, the prestige of having a boss who doesn't let your work ever be seen by a human being.
Right, but I'm gonna hold on to that prestige. I get the prestige when I die in the burning building. They say, oh, what a prestigious individual.
We're all gonna die.
I know a guy.
Which one? Brian Johnson? Ray Kurzweil?
What? Actually, rare third option. Larry Page also started a longevity company.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know that guy?
No.
Oh.
But I wish. That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
If I was like my close personal friend, mega billionaire Google founder Larry Page.
I mean, from what I have experienced of knowing billionaires is they're not that helpful. They're like doctors. They're very closed wallet for some reason.
Well, that makes sense because, I mean, aren't these executives pretty rich too? It's like one of those like things where you want to pull yourself up, but you don't. You pull the ladder up after.
Occasionally, I get a billionaire to give a bunch of money to something. It's fun. You should try it. It's really cool. They never give it to me, but they get them to give it to something.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then they have less money, and I'm like, yeah.
And then the stock changes by a penny, and they gain another $1 billion. Yeah. Oh, it's so cool how the world works.
So cool. It's a weird one. So you care about cleanliness and the media and the British royal family.
Yeah. I'm diverse in my interests. The other things, I just spared you all of my Pokemon and Magic the Gathering questions because I didn't want to force you to research that stuff.
I tell you what, thank you.
Yeah. See? Looking out for
Magic gives me a headache.
It's okay.
And the people who I play it with are much better than me. And all I do is lose, lose, lose.
You know what's so fun about Magic though?
Well, for those of you watching at home, we just cut out a whole section where Jarvis talked about Magic the Gathering for about 10 minutes.
That's why I'm in a sweat right now because I get very emotional when I'm talking about my passions. Those outside of sponges and media economics. So,
yeah.
Thanks, Hank, for listening to me.
Yeah. You had great questions. Curious about the world. And also this town, Los Angeles.
Wild place.
This dirty town of dirty people.
Yeah.
Making money however they can.
Yeah, little bacterias running around.
In the nooks and crannies of this.
In the brain of our country.
Yeah.
No, that's
no,
not
definitely.
right.
No, it's just
that's
a sponge.
Right.
It's just
anyway,
a sponge.
Yeah, what else do we learn? People in Missoula stink, apparently. I'm sorry. I didn't say it.
We're just sort of more in touch with our normal natural bodies.
I like that. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah. I think you might have saved yourself with this one.
Okay. We'll make sure we keep that bit in.
Yeah, I'll let them be the judge.
They know.
Oh, okay.
No one's going to be like, I can't believe Hank said that about Missoula. Like, they're aware.
That's actually very sweet.
Oh, okay.
They're like, yeah, that's us.
Jarvis, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of you for watching. In the comments, people leave questions and then they vote up the ones they want me to answer. I'll answer a few of the top ones. So you get on down there and upvote the ones that you think are the best, or you can leave your own. This show is called Ask Hank Anything. You can subscribe with a button that's nearby and also get notifications. Thank you to everybody who helped make this episode. If you've been watching or listening and you have some questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you see questions that you like, you can upvote those. I'll answer a few of them in the next few days. Also, if you want to see more of what we're up to, you can join the Complexly newsletter by visiting complexly.com.